Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. That's a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part: if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta and sell out and sell out Babylon. Just stop on the Friday. You might throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. wicked man throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Stibby-dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no keep, and some informer friend we love like. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona thief. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good morning, globalists. Good morning and welcome to Global TV. It is your program At a Glance. Thank you for joining us this morning. Welcome, welcome, everyone. We realize, say it look like DARYL VAZ still not here. So just in case DARYL VAZ not still here yet, our request, DARYL VAZ will come back to this morning. Because what Mr. VAZ doesn't realize, we have all the time in the world, Mr. VAZ, to ask and wait. But we are not going to stop asking until you come out and condemn your friend death. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, via subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Morning to YouTube, morning TikTok. Everyone, how are you all doing? Sharon Bernard, Beat and Teach, good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Yvonne Johnson, good morning, good morning. Good morning and welcome. Keith Matthews, good morning. Good morning. Annette Thompson, good morning and welcome. Good morning, good morning. Denise Hilton, good morning. Daphne Jackson. As I Chapel TV, good morning and welcome. Michelle McKay, good morning. Sorry. Ladybug, Dave Clark, Renice Nicholson, Vincent Denham, good morning. Let me see who is on the tick. Dino Beat and Teach, Kathy Reed, is it Vasil Biggs, Veronica, Stacy and Levy, Troy Henry, good morning, everyone, and welcome. We still come back to DARYL VAZ. We now move. We stuck like scratch record on the issue of Samuel Dixon's murder and his relationship with the government minister and the silence of the government minister. We have all the time in the world, DARYL VAZ, to wait. But we need a response from the Minister of Government and a lot of things, Mr. VAZ. But you remember a case where a couple was, as it was reported then, murdered in Manchester. I think the husband was a businessman, the wife a police constable or something of the sort. But you may have remembered that incident. The court has returned with an open verdict on the matter. I will let the attorney speak and then I will try to explain to you how open verdict works in the system.
Back. Christopher Honeywell, I'm an attorney at law and I represented the family of the deceased wife.
All right, what is your reaction to the open verdict given by the jury?
Well, in matters of this nature, you're always expecting the unexpected in a court. The fact of the matter is that the evidence, the physical evidence that was raised by the policemen in particular would have indicated that the verdict we submit should have been definitively suicide. However, the jury, in their estimation, felt that they did not see enough evidence that would convince them that it was either suicide or homicide. One of the things I believe that might have borne heavily on their minds is the fact that neither the deceased nor his wife returned any positive traces of firearm residue on their hands. However, if you look back at the fact of the height that the police experts said that the gun would have been discharged, it indicated definitively that it would have been somebody sitting on the toilet seat or somebody stooping beside him. And if you reflect also on the fact that it was a contact wound and the suit was deposited right into the wound and there was a barrel mark on the head, then it clearly indicates that this was how the bullet would have been discharged from the gun into the deceased. Having said all of that, people, a jury of our peers of 7 have seen it. They never felt that they saw enough to make a conclusion one way or the other, and the matter, we believe, would have to rest right there. We accept the verdict for what it is.
The judge said that insufficient evidence, and she said that this is the end. However, she said that if further evidence is to surface, then the matter could be looked into again. What's your comment in relation to that point?
Well, that is the rule of the law. And in matters of this nature, you know that there's no statute of limitation on any kind of criminal process. So were evidence to emerge, then surely the matter could be reconvened. Reflect, however, on the fact that all of the government evidence gatherers and investigators in this matter have taken the preliminary estimation that this is indeed, by all appearances, a suicide. And the investigations have proceeded along that basis. So it is not in our expectation that there's likely to be anything emerging in the future. It is clear from what his wife and his extended family did that they extended all possible efforts that they could have to try to save Jason's life. So much so that they made sure that the police got there even ahead of any expectation of time, and that when he was being sent off to the hospital, he was still alive and with a desperate hope that he might have lived. It didn't happen, and he passed, sadly enough. We wish that this can give them some closure, however, that the matter has been vindicated in court. A jury of their peers have deliberated on it, and we're certain, therefore, that no fingers are being pointed at them in terms of what they did or might not have done.
Right. An open verdict. These sometimes happens in a coroner's inquest. Sometimes people call it a coroner's court, but it's more formally referred to as coroner's inquest. When you have an open verdict is where you cannot, because the purpose of a coroner's inquest is not really to apportion blame, is really to establish cause of death. Now, in this complicated scenario, my mind have to wonder. I'm wondering if there's any cover-up in the matter. Because the reason why I would assume not reading the exact details from the coroners, while expert witness suggests the point blank murder suicide, how they address it, but on a forensic note, there was no gunshot residue on either the wife or the husband's hand, which is very weird in a circumstances like that, where a murder suicide, as we were told then, took place. Hearing all those evidence and with the complications of you're expecting in such a scenario that gunshot residue would come back on both hands or one of them hand if it was such. So that would be a confusing case for the coroners, rather to draw a conclusion of suicide or homicide or suicide homicide. So that's why they leave the verdict open. Now, an open verdict does not mean it's all over and done with. That case can be reopened, but only with new evidence. Only with new evidence. But the forensic, though, I'm not a person with science background or science knowledge, but given my legal background, gunshot residue is heavily contested in cases like those when it comes to a criminal trial, which is quite much separate. But that bit is confusing for both, not to either wife or husband. There's no gunshot residue. Kathy, welcome. Colleen, welcome. That bit is confusing. And I think that's where they got to the open verdict, because in any of those case scenario, one would want to ask, if there's no gunshot residue on their hands, how can we be sure that it's a murder-suicide, a homicide-suicide, whatever way you want to term it? How does one know? Because the gunshot residue is a pointer that they did it to themselves. But that evidence is missing. It begs to ask the question, is there a cover-up involved? Just asking. Don't have any information, can't point to nothing. But the gunshot residue, as I said, I'm not from a science background, but if anyone have a science background and an understanding of those, can it be possible that they carried out the act against themselves, but neither of them have gunshot residue on their hands? I don't know. I'm confused by that. And I think that is where the jurors of the coroner's inquest couldn't have come to a decision either way, because it is naturally expected when somebody discharges a weapon that forensically you will find gunshot residue on them within a set period of time. Now, these two people didn't have time to go away and clean up the gunshot residue if they are the ones who dabbed or nabbed themselves. I'm confused by that as well. I could understand if that was what confused the jurors, because I would have been confused by that, because that is something that we know commonly about discharging a weapon. There's a gunshot powder that is found on your hands and on your clothes. How has that not been found? If it's a homicide, suicide. One of them, the person that uses the gun, at least that person, after shooting their partner, then committed suicide. There ought to be some form of gunshot residue, isn't it? And if it is not there, then it begs to ask the question, regardless of where the murder took place in the house, could it be a staged? Could what we been given and told, Kathy, thank you. Could it be that what we have been given and told about this suicide, homicide is a staging? Could it be that that was a staged? Thanks, Kathy, thank you. That we were given stage information. Because both of them and them do over themselves. But none of the two have gunshot residue on their hands. I'm wondering if there's a major cover-up. Could it be that the forensic test wasn't done properly? That could be another scenario again. You know, see Marco Rubio say I carry dummy kit come give them Raymond. So maybe they have to go dig them up and run Mario. When you call them synthetic kits, pan them again. Maybe him have to go root them up and make it all over again. But that part there confuse me. And it makes me wonder if it's a cover-up. And if there's a cover-up, the police have to know that they're covering up something. The police have to be giving us stage information that does not reflect the actual truth of what they see. I wonder if any politician from the Labour Party is involved, just like how we know now. There's a high possibility that DARYL VAZ is involved in Fraughty's murder. And we're calling on DARYL VAZ to come out and say something. Your friend DARYL VAZ, just a couple weeks ago, we hear you come out and you make the accusation, DARYL VAZ, I said there was about 2 to 3 shootings in the parish. You came out and you said that from certain elements came to the parish, Abi Galangin, and you're going to flush them out, DARYL VAZ. It is said that DARYL VAZ, that Fraughty, Samuel Dixon, who bankrolled your election campaign, DARYL VAZ, was planning to switch allegiance to the People's National Party. It is also said, DARYL VAZ, Kiliba right there mad this morning, that you had a punch-up with Fraughty days before he was brutally slain. It is said the altercation was over money, Mr. VAZ. It was said one of the driver was punched down during the calamity. You have a very good relationship with Samuel Dixon, DARYL VAZ, a friendly relationship, a business relationship, and a political associate as well, because he bankrolled your campaign. When you're doing your food package program, You uses his supermarket. And you trust, and when you have money, you go pay. When you're doing your run around, whether it be food packages or election campaign, you use his gas station. He has business east and west of Portland. Across the road from your office, DARYL VAZ, your friend who financed your campaign, he was brutally murdered, DARYL VAZ. And up until now, DARYL VAZ not here. What happened to him, friend? DARYL VAZ is utterly silent on the issue. DARYL VAZ came out and addressed other murders that took place in the parish of Portland. But DARYL VAZ's friend was brutally murdered while pre-morning. DARYL VAZ's friend was brutally murdered. DARYL VAZ's business associate, political backer, and DARYL VAZ is silent. DARYL VAZ still haven't heard that his friend, his political supporter, has been murdered. Days after Mr. VAZ had a punch-up with Mr. Dixon. Come on, DARYL VAZ. You know, I got lay out this one, you know. You're not going to lay this one out. This is not just a constituents of yours, Mr. DARYL VAZ. Darn morning. Is it G. Harriet morning? It is not, that is just like a constituent of yours, which one would still expect you, the MP, the owner for Portland, as you declare, a minister of government who controls a parish, in your words. Wife and husband are one, don't they say that? That's what they say. So, you, Toto One, have one whole parish for yourself, and an influential businessman, DARYL VAZ, a friend of yours, DARYL VAZ, who bankroll your election campaign. 80 spank shell, Mr. VAZ. Who is DARYL VAZ hitman? Is the question. Kill this boy, no have 80 spank shell for way, so DARYL VAZ. Who is DARYL VAZ hitman? Hold on there. Who is DARYL VAZ hitman?
Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody. Man or woman.
Say something, DARYL VAZ. DARYL VAZ, say something. Kimon Green, don't mind him, it a rub him clot. Make him stay and get the rubbing. If you go on Palm Bridge and go kin Pupalik. Go on Palm Bridge, go kin Pupalik. Don't make it rub him. Because them know the minister is a thief. He's a drug dealer. The minister of government is a thief. He's a rapist. He's a drug dealer. And he's a murderer. That's what we know Minister VAZ to be. Oh no, you all can back up the corruption. But me now go back up the corruption. You understand? No Labour people are corrupt people. But anyway, back to Mr. VAZ. Your friend, your business associate, somebody who donate to your campaign, somebody who you trust special from DARYL VAZ, somebody who you trust food from, if you go fool poor people with DARYL VAZ, somebody who you borrow money from to buy vote DARYL VAZ. And he was brutally slain. And you mean to say DARYL VAZ is so silent? Like DARYL VAZ on here say, my friend Fraughty has been gunned down and the police then pick up 80 and spent shell. You not hear that, DARYL? No, DARYL don't hear. But certainly if DARYL VAZ heard, DARYL VAZ would have condemned the brutal slaying of his friend and business partner and political donor, DARYL VAZ. That would be the human thing to do, isn't it? Put the business and political relationship aside, Mr. VAZ. What is the human thing in your leadership role, Mr. VAZ? You said the constituency, you said the parish, I feel. You rename it from Portland to Vazland, you said. So anything go on up there or with anybody from up there, DARYL VAZ, who else do we come to by you? Are you for your place, you know? And you say no secret, no did it? Who do we come to DARYL VAZ? Why is it that DARYL VAZ is not condemning the death of his friend? Does your silence have anything to do with the fact that you and him just have an angry face-off days before he was murdered, Mr. VAZ? Yes, Prince Diamond, let me just run it back for you. It's a convoluted story, but we want Mr. VAZ to help us. Grandma Brown, morning. We want Mr. VAZ to help us with what he knows.
Fraughty on May 9 coming up. Fraughty, he'll be celebrating his 60th birthday. Fraughty, he owned many businesses in Portland, where he is from, and in the parish of St. Ann. These businesses include gas station, car dealerships, and auto parts business. He lived at Balmoral Heights in the Towile area of St. Mary. Fraughty, he was a drug dealer with links in Colombia, Haiti, and the United States of America. Last night, Monday, March 7, about 7 o'clock, Fraughty, who was a licensed firearm holder, he was driving a dark blue Maserati motor car towards his home when he was ambushed. The hoodlums, they opened gunfire at the vehicle that Fraughty was driving. He managed to jump out of the vehicle and ran, but the hoodlums chased him, caught up with him, and pumped several bullets into him, killing him in the middle of the street. They also robbed Fraughty of his licensed firearm. We are told that the police, they found over 80 spent shells, to include 5.56 and 9mm spent shells on the scene. So it is clear that a hit was placed on Fraughty. But the question is, who was it that placed that hit on Fraughty? We are told that in recent times, Fraughty, he contracted a security company. He contracted them to provide bodyguard services to him. It is almost sure that if any of those security guards were with Fraughty last night, they too would have been killed. Now, the question is, what was it that happened recently? Why Fraughty thought his life was at risk? Word on the street is that Fraughte's name was being called on some shooting incidents. I carried a report on this channel before about two guys. One is called Sparkles and the other one is called Real Man. It is said that both Sparkles and Real Man, they were trusted employees of Frati, but they stopped working for him and they started their own business. Frati, he was very upset about this, and he was of the view that both Sparkles and Real Man had robbed him and started their own business. As a result, it is said that Frati, he placed hits on both Sparkles and Real Man's heads. On Sunday night, January 26, about 8:30, Real Man, who is 50 years old, he was standing along the roadway across from Island Grill in Ocho Rios. He stood and was talking to someone when a silver motor car with 3 hoodlums aboard drove up and stopped. The hoodlums, they opened a barrage of gunshots hitting Real Man. He received gunshot injuries, but he survived. Less than 1 week later, on Saturday night, February 1, at minutes to 8 o'clock, Sparkles, who would be celebrating his 46th birthday on the upcoming Tuesday, he was hosting his pre-birthday party at a venue at Marvin's Park in Ocho Rios when he was attacked and shot several times by a hoodlum. Sparkle, he received serious injuries, but he too survived. Frati's name was also being called as the man behind 2 recent murders, and these murders were said to be drug-related. That man on your screen, his name is Albert Lindsay, but he was popularly known as Bugsy. Bugsy was in his 50s and he lived at Anchovy Land Settlement in Portland. Our information is that Bugsy, he spent some time in jail in Germany, but we are not sure what he was charged for. Bugsy, he operated a popular restaurant named Hannah Bananas in Portland, and he was shot and killed at his home on Thursday morning, March 6, about 8 o'clock. He was killed by someone who had called him out on his veranda. The latest incident that Frati's name was being called on, it took place at a marine repair shop in Kingston. It took place yesterday afternoon, Monday, March 24, about 5 o'clock. A guy named Roche Jeffet Deacon. He was 34 years old and he lived at Reach District in Portland. It is said that Roche, he was actively involved in the guns for drug trade between Jamaica and Haiti. Yesterday afternoon, Roche, he drove his silver Toyota Hiace bus to the shop for them to do repairs on one of his boat engines. While he was there, 2 hoodlums rode up on a bike and opened gunfire at Roche, killing him on the spot. So the question investigators are now trying to answer is, was Frati killed as an act of reprisal for any of these incidents, or was it something else? More to come. The mayhem, blessed
something else. DARYL VAZ is an opportunist. DARYL VAZ is an opportunist, but such is the company that the Minister of Government entangled himself with. I'm also going to play a video for you that they used to, of a nursery rhyme they used to teach us in basic school. I think you will find it very familiar as well. All of us have heard this story before. Unless you don't go to nursery school.
Manchester Division. One such operation was conducted this morning where our police team, armed with a warrant, went to our premises in Kingsland around about 2:30 a.m. Where we got information that criminal suspects were hiding out. On breaching the premises, a man who was inside the house pointed a firearm in the direction of the police. The police responded by firing at the man. He was hit and taken to the Mandeville Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. 1.38 revolver was recovered, and it was loaded with 2 live .38 cartridges.
You would have heard that nursery rhyme before, haven't you? As long as you go to school or nursery, you would have heard that nursery rhyme before. That the police were armed with a warrant and the man pointed a gun at them. The police fired. What did the police fire from, officer? Was it from the warrant? Just asking. But that story that all of us know and all of us hear, and in every shooting incident that the police is involved in, that same piece of nursery rhyme, I would like to ask the police officer, what was the man shot with? Because in your words, officer, they were only armed with a warrant. The man pointed a gun at them. Jamaica people have point gun at the police and don't do not what you say. Jamaica people have a habit in pointing guns at police. Jamaicans will not have a bad habit of pointing guns at police. I want to see a paper the police having them hand. Want to still point gun upon them. What is wrong with them in Jamaica? The police was armed with a warrant. And you see a warrant, the police armed with, and you point gun upon him? No, sir. We're determined.
We have embarked on a series of operations within the Manchester Division. One such operation was conducted this morning where our police team, armed with a warrant, went to our premises in Kingsland around about 2:30 a.m., where we got information that criminal suspects were hiding out. On breaching the premises, a man who was inside the house pointed a firearm in the direction of the police. The police responded by firing at the man. He was hit and taken to the Mandeville Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. 1.38 revolver was recovered, and it was loaded with 2 live .38 cartridges.
Anyone away we're born in Jamaica can recite this. Anyone away we're born in Jamaica can recite this bullshit. The police was armed with a paper. A light cement, say I want to have a finger, but light cement, possibly. If the man says them are come with, why they don't put Jamaica in our movie? Whoa, murder. If the man says them are come with paper, they will fit up him and draw for him finger. Now talk truth. What if tap the man from draw for him finger and point at the police? If them say the police hold paper, I come at them, so. One can change the story now, you know. One can literally change it now. Anyone who is born in Jamaica can recite the line there. Because we heard every police shooting, that line is recited. I mean, I think that's something within training, a training school, or maybe an unspoken of training. Chantal Smith. But all of we hear that story there before. But it get worse, Sarah. Because the police, them are armed with paper, you know. And Jamaicans are going to see a paper them can and gun pan them. Or not tan bad so. The man them have paper in their hand because the man said they were armed with a warrant. Armed with a warrant, he said. And the man pointed a gun at them. What if it is a finger and not a gun?
Series of operations within the Manchester division. One such operation was conducted this morning where our police team, armed with a warrant, went to a premises in Kingsland around about 2:30 a.m. Where we got information that criminal suspects were hiding.
What I want to ask you, sir, if they were armed with a warrant, what did they use to shoot the man? Break the news too. It's a bullet in a paper now, or a bullet a walk in an envelope. What then they take their hand and fling it? You need to get on the language right. And because it's a pre-planned lie, it don't work with every story, sir.
On breaching the premises, a man who was inside the house pointed a firearm in the direction of the police. The police responded by firing at the man. He was hit and taken to the Mandeville Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. 1.38 revolver was recovered. It was loaded with 2 live .38 cartridges.
Kimon Green, you're going to have to go wait till you see Horace Chang and Kevin, you know. And Dr. Blake, because them love when you call them the honorary title, them big academic titles. You're going to have to wait till you see Dr. Chang and Dr. Blake and ask them, can an officer be armed with a warrant? That's why I said language, sir. When you need to get the language right. Armed with a warrant. Not present himself with a warrant, officer, but armed with it. It leads me to ask a question. What did the officer use to shot the man? Because to date you have mentioned the officer discharging a weapon or pulling a weapon. Listen carefully again, Jamaica. The only arm he spoke about that the police officer had was a warrant. Now, we have to explore him line of argument, you know. If the officer only armed with a warrant, what did he use to shot the man? This is a tricky exam to write, you know. Very tricky exam to write. Very tricky exam. Listen well.
We have embarked on a series of operations within the Manchester division. One such operation was conducted this morning where our police team, armed with a warrant, went to a premises in Kingsland around about 2:30 a.m. Where we got information that criminal suspects were hiding out. On breaching the premises, a man who was inside the house pointed a firearm in the direction of the police. The police responded by firing at the man. He was hit and taken to the Mandeville Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. 1.38 revolver was recovered. It was loaded with 2 live .38 cartridges.
That's why I'm saying to you, sir, language, because to date, you have mentioned a gun for the police. You said the police, return fire? From what? Return fire from what? Because remember you told us they were armed with a warrant. That's why I've always been telling Dr. Chang, you need to train your people, modernize them with customer service and language, because they're still using the same language of the very distant past of the same old story. So people point gun at them. What you say, like, that probably want a new gun when he warrant? Possibly. You might never know anything possible with Dr. Chang. Dr. Chang can't carry in so much illegal gun in one country. Anything possible with Dr. Chang. But if they were armed with a warrant, it begs one to ask the question, what did the police use to return fire when the man point the gun at them? And why Jamaica people love point gun and not use it so? I know, say, for police, you point it after what go happen. If you go point your gun, you must have point if you have 1-1 situation in it. Me take you, you take me. But it look like they only point it as a joke. Because remember, the police never armed with gun, they armed with a warrant. And if him point out at them, and them had the time to retaliate, take out them gun and retaliate. What I didn't heard the officer said, if he discharged any bullet from his gun, I don't think so, because them would have rubbing that they lied in there. The language in the JCF needs to change. Dr. Chang and Kevin Blake. Let an incident, let a reporting reflect the incident and not just the nursery rhyme. Because most of us, if not all, when there's a police shooting, we know the exact line that we're going to be told. Albeit we are surprised that an armed warrant is now involved. Now that an armed warrant is involved, that's kind of development to the story, isn't it? I wonder if the hitman who DARYL VAZ sent after Fraughty, if they were shooting from warrants. Me afraid to hear when the police talk, because to me know say the police take crime for fun in a Jamaica. Not all of them, but a lot of them. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is overridden with criminals. And I mean it come from the very top. The Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security, the Lion Fitzbailey, who have just resigned and gone a broad look job, the Dr. Kevin Blake, whoever since him take over, there's just mass shootings left, right, and center. Extrajudicial shootings left, right, and center. And they don't want with to talk. They don't want with to ask DARYL VAZ. Why is DARYL VAZ so sad? DARYL VAZ it a rub me, you see? I've never seen DARYL VAZ do something will rub me so yet. DARYL VAZ, this is your scratch record. Hurry up and speak, DARYL VAZ. Because I will remain as a scratch record until DARYL VAZ come out and acknowledges the brutal murder of his friend. And if you're a generous minister, you can tell us how much money you owe him, whether be at the supermarket or at the petrol station, or a loan, Mr. VAZ, that you have not repaid. But we want to know, your silence a rub me, DARYL VAZ. Your friend can't be murdered so brutally. Your friend DARYL VAZ, who you are dependent upon to help bankroll your election campaign, where you know, say, up there, car, the open car go load up, Up there, I go get the dry bun and the bag juice them for throwing at the car for give them for the election campaign. And the man dead DARYL VAZ and you just silent, so? And what it is? Silent mean consent or involvement, DARYL VAZ? This is a minister of government, you know. This is not any old kete jump down the road there. This is a minister of government. Is the minister of government political campaign bankrolled by drug dealers, DARYL VAZ? We do not tell DARYL VAZ to come answer. Because if him think to say, we're going to talk the Tory one time and tap, a lie DARYL VAZ I tell boy, You're too trigger happy, DARYL VAZ. You're too power hungry. That was why you killed Dr. Bloomfield, wasn't it? That was why you murdered Diane Smith, because you wanted her to be silent, Mr. VAZ. When will DARYL VAZ address the death of Frothy? Frothy the businessman, DARYL VAZ friend. DARYL VAZ political financier. And DARYL VAZ wants us to walk off into the sunshine. TikTok, make sure you give us a follow. And tap up the screen, please, everybody. Even under the labor rights over here. Labor rights! Tap up the screen, labor rights. Labor rights, tap up the screen. And I see how I make me grow up on TikTok. And I see how much platform, how much channel I have on TikTok, labor rights. Tap up the screen, labor rights!
Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
So let me ask you, DARYL VAZ, on a serious note, Drunkro, come here. Election a come. And just soon call election. Are you going to go down to Frothy gas station, go trust special DARYL VAZ? Given that your friend DARYL VAZ was murdered and you're silent, are you going to go to Frothy petrol station when Andrew called election for go trust gas? And are you going to continue go trust food packages, DARYL VAZ, at Samuel Dixon's supermarket? You see the amount of political help. Sticky Dread, Colleen, morning everybody. Go our eviction coach network, morning. Strongman, morning. No manners, morning. So we all get something trust DARYL VAZ, morning, Sophie. With DARYL VAZ, I go get the holy perpetual and food trust for fool the people them. Angie B. Because a Frothy DARYL VAZ used to trust from, you know. A Frothy DARYL VAZ used to trust from. And now that him same one highly possibly ordered a hit and Frothy, because Frothy now go support him and bankroll him for this year campaign. Morning, Antonio. We both have the same middle name. Morning, Antonio Graver. How are you? Are you okay, Antonio? Give us a follow. DARYL VAZ, where are you going to get things to trust Was it because he wasn't going to support your campaign? Your campaign you're very troubled about. Your campaign, the Easy Jerk, morning, bro, welcome. Your campaign that you're worried about, your financier, is not going to finance DARYL VAZ for the upcoming general election. Was that a reason why Samuel Dixon was gotten rid of? The amount, the barrage of spent shell, DARYL VAZ. I wonder if there's any government hitman, because we know the Jamaica Labour Party have their hitmen in the JCF and JDF. There's a killer squad in JDF and JCF. Given the barrage of spent shell, DARYL VAZ. Morning, Antonio. How you do, Antonio? Given the amount of spent shell, DARYL VAZ, don't you think it would look to the general public's eye that there's highly possibly involvement of the security services in this cold-blooded assassination by a businessman, the friend of the government minister, DARYL VAZ? Why is DARYL so silent? Is it not robbing you all? Because it's robbing me. Because just a few weeks ago, DARYL VAZ came out and he spoke on some other murders in the parish. This is the minister's personal friend. This is the minister's political backer. This is the minister's political financier. And VAZ and DARYL VAZ go and rest Sexy Karen, how you do? And VAZ and DARYL VAZ go to his supermarket to truss food packages, Gloria Morris. They also send their vehicles there to truss petrol when them are going to do them campaign about on road. DARYL, VAZ, and Frotty are people that will sit down and drink together. How is it, Unique Ray, Colleen James, Wayne Evans? How is it that the Minister of Government, Sunshine, Wagwan, how is it that the Minister of Government, personal friend, political supporter, and financier has been brutally murdered, and the Minister of Government is silent? Not even an acknowledgement that your friend, your political supporter, DARYL VAZ, has been murdered. Why on God earth is the minister so silent? Is it not robbing you all like it's robbing me? Because the minister spoke on other issues. The minister have strong words on other issues. Vassal Briggs, morning. The minister have words on other issues. Whenever sometimes I can't even bother with TikTok. My TikTok audience, them not support me. One thing over not my TikTok audience, my YouTube audience. TikTok audience, you don't have to ask them to give you your likes. They're interactive like that. You have to get up and coil and roll in a mud with YouTube supporters every day for just a little like. Me no labor rights, me not go roll in a mud with them. So this is most of the time I just allow them. If them want to do it, them do it. If them don't want to do it, them don't do it. Because Them want people out here every day to fight for the good of Jamaica. And I can't even do the simplest thing as help the program in the algorithm. So, me not in a problem. Me not in a problem at all. Me will one cocoa full basket. Me not if I told me grow up very poor and accept my position in a life, so me not always try jump out of it or jump ahead of things. Me alright and content in a me corner. What you ever hear them say bird fly too fast past their nest? Me want lay my egg in a my nest. No you able. Go lay in a jankro nest and then a jankro go hatch. So maybe one cocoa full basket. The people who wants to support, they will do it. Gemini, war with them every day, master. Anyway, back to DARYL VAZ. Morning, Sarah Series. Morning. Back to DARYL VAZ and the criminality. This Minister of Government has never been far away from crime and criminality, whether it be rape, murder, drugs, selling rooms and collecting money in Mexico, rooms on the beach, money in Mexico, losing his diplomatic visa, sitting in the House of Representatives unconstitutional, DARYL VAZ. What have you done, Minister VAZ, that says you have a clean personal and political record? DARYL VAZ, Kevin Thomas, welcome. What says you, Minister, what it is that you can come out here and say, all you them are gone, all you them are gone. Me have a clean record. Me no other MP in Portland. No other MP in Portland have a clean record like me. One thing I can't tell you no. One thing I can't tell you no. I can campaign on good record. What it is though, DARYL VAZ? What is that good record? Come tell me. And start it, DARYL VAZ, by sympathizing with the family of Samuel Dixon. You want to start like that? You will have to wash that blood off your hands, Minister. And we're not going to stop drawing you out in public, Minister, until we see the blood stain. We're not going to let you carry your blood stain around like Tom Tavares carries the blood stain of Dog Paw and his hands around. No. We're going to ask you to wash it off, Minister. You can start by acknowledging the brutal slaying of your friend, businessman, constituents, political supporter, donor, DARYL VAZ. That not sound strange to you? If it was you, DARYL VAZ, you would have wanted your friend to come out and sympathize with Anne. Albeit she probably don't hear them because she may forget to turn on the hearing aid. She probably wouldn't hear. But you would want that. It's the human thing to do, DARYL VAZ. Given when you don't have money to fool poor people, you go to his business and you trust and you use it to fool poor people. His business was a great support for DARYL VAZ's politics of food, isn't it, Mr. VAZ? One of the Tivoli man live at DARYL VAZ yard. DARYL VAZ, the people of Jamaica, the people of Portland, give us a follow, please, on TikTok, everyone. If you're not following us yet, give us a follow now, please. Chef James, are you still here? Are you still here, Chef James? Give us a follow, please, if you are new to the program. Help us to grow so we can continue the fight for social justice, because we have to continue to hold our politicians accountable. Our crime, the crime that plagues us in our country, that we poor people and poor people picnic get blamed for and get shut down for in the street, was introduced to us, financed, and been institutionalized by our very own politicians. Poor people are not the cause for crime. Poor people are not the cause for crime. Poor people's involvement in crime is a symptom of politicians, businessmen, and the security services. Poor people don't have money for getting at the level of criminality that plagues our society. Labor rights, no, give me a follow, no? Give me a follow, labor rights. Labor rights! As Carencia Morrison would say. Give me a follow.
For the people them! Wah! Wah! Me see him! See him and kill me! Why? Me see him! Why?
When you don't have to add labor rights, just tap up the screen, hit the like button and all that jazz. You can send your present as well, just like how you support a thief in Prime Minister. Because you don't like when we call Andrew Holness thief, but the whole on know say Andrew Holness a thief and liar. Make me turn upon him. No. The whole on, if it was poor people picnic in the ghetto, labor rights, I walk with long bag, where him can't tell the ghetto where him get the long bag from. When no ghetto people are go beat him because he's a thief. Because him have long bag and him can't talk. If it was a ghetto people person picnic, in a Andrew Holness circumstances, where I walk with long bag, now that I know how you do. Give us a follow, everyone. If I did ghetto people and poor people picking it, I walk with long bag like the Prime Minister and can't tell we when get the long bag from. Everybody in I get to go say a thief in thief. How different is the Prime Minister? We can't tell the Integrity Commission when get in wealth from. Is that not the same as a ghetto rat walking with a long bag when can't tell you where him get all that's in it from? How different the Prime Minister? Because once you have something, where you can't give an account for, we automatically say or think or allude to the fact that you steal it. Why would it be different for the Prime Minister? Why would it be any different for the Prime Minister walking with a long bag? And nobody, no one will call the Prime Minister a thief. If you have something and you can't justify, if your children come home with something where you know they not have the money to buy, where you not buy give them, where one of your family member not buy give them, you not go ask them where them thief from. Desmond McLean, good morning and welcome. Give us a follow. You now go ask your picnic, if your picnic turn up in your house with something where you can't afford, you never buy give them. You now go ask them who give them or where them thief from. And if they can't tell you who with them, you have to ask them where they thief you from, don't? That's how we communicate. How is it that the Prime Minister loot? How is it that the Prime Minister long bag when coming with is not the same thing? How different is the Prime Minister long bag from a youth in the ghetto with a long bag? How different is the Prime Minister's money when can't explain to a youth you sit on the road with a car when can't explain where you get it from? How different is it? Oh, the difference is class, you see. The up there Jamaica who really look down over on us over there. You know, the many different Jamaica, that one that they live and those different type that we down here live in. That's the only difference. That is the only difference. Class is the only difference.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside a rub and cheat and not press the floor. Make up what I seen to. Make him a throw and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Make him a throw and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man throw and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw and stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta and sell out, I sell out Babylon. You might throw a stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing. You might throw a stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one.
Thank you and welcome back to your At a Glance program. Now, let me respond to, was it Sharon's comment? I think you were referring to the money that the IC spent on that audit report, which was not tabled in their report on the Prime Minister's stats. I will give a similar explanation for SSL as well, because both applies to the same. Now, the audit report that the IC did in relation to the Prime Minister, the reason why they cannot release it, table it rather, is because they have referred the Prime Minister for further investigation by FID and the Tax Administration of Jamaica. That report will be important to FID investigation. So while FID and TAJ is still investigating, that report cannot be made public because it's a part of the investigation. That is why they cannot table or release that report until FID and TAJ has completed their investigation. Same apply to the SSL Kroll report as well, not the FID report, the Kroll report, because there's a FID report that Paula is sitting on, and there's also a Kroll report. Now, a lot of people are calling for the Kroll report to be released. I'm not of that view. What I'm calling for is a ruling from Paula Llewellyn on the FID investigation, which make referral for other people to be charged. The reason why the Kroll report cannot be released now, pending any trial, the Kroll report will be a major part of the evidence. Julie, Miss Mango, you find me over here, so welcome. The Kroll report will be a part of any evidence presented. Is it Hanson, Neta Hanson or so? The evidence, they will be relying on evidence from the Kroll report to present against Jean and Panton and anybody else charged under the SSL crime. So that is why it's not appropriate to have those reports released at this point, whether it be the Kroll report or the audit report that the IC used in the Prime Minister. But the FID report, Paula can make a ruling on that or charge the people who FID make reference for her to charge. So I hope that make it clear to people as to why they wouldn't and couldn't have released, the IC couldn't have or wouldn't have released that report, because the Prime Minister is still under investigation. And given that it's a money and financial investigation, then the audit report is very crucial to FID and TAJ investigation as well. So I hope that is understood by people. This is not a political explanation. This is a legal explanation. There are procedural law that you have to follow, because if you don't follow the procedural law, it will kill the case and the rest of the legalities. As what Paula was suggesting, publication will damage. If the Kroll report is put out in public, even Jean and Panton case will get thrown out of court, because the evidence is that they're relying on is already in the public domain. Glenton Morgan, morning and welcome. Make sure to give us a follow, everyone. So I hope that answers the question as to anyone who is in confusion about those two reports, whether with the audit report of the IC for the Prime Minister or the audit report from Kroll, the audit investigation from Kroll. While we're at that though, we still want to hear from DARYL VAZ. What DARYL VAZ know about Fraughty's death? Did DARYL VAZ order a hit on his friend? Did DARYL VAZ order a hit on his friend because he was switching political allegiance? What was the fight about, DARYL VAZ, with yourself and Samuel Dixon a few days before Mr. Dixon was murdered, Minister VAZ? We want to know. The public deserve to know. It is disgraceful, Mr. VAZ, that your friend, business partner, political backer and donor was brutally murdered, Mr. VAZ, and you are absolutely silent. Given that this took place, some days after you had a punch-up with him over money, we know, Mr. VAZ, that you have a long-running money relationship with Fraughty. You trust petrol from his petrol station for your political runabout. You trust food from his supermarket, Mr. VAZ, for your food packages handout. Is someone who you sit down and drink with, DARYL VAZ. It is someone who have a business across from your office, DARYL VAZ. It is someone who you've borrowed money from to deal with your politics, DARYL VAZ. He was brutally murdered, and the Minister of Government is utter silent. Carlos Wagwan. Utterly silence, Markland Fagan, Nora Harris. Abu. The minister turned him ears the other side of bush, like he has not heard that his friend and political backer, Sandra James, was brutally murdered. 81 spank shell, DARYL VAZ. That sounds like a professional hit. Begs to ask the question, is the security services, Troy, thank you. Rachel Brown, thank you. Begs to ask the question, is the security services, Mr. VAZ, involved in the slaying of your friend? What does DARYL VAZ know? User 8467, Wagwan. Thank you. What does DARYL VAZ know that can assist the police? Richard, morning. Is DARYL VAZ able to tell us what the punch-up after that, Queen, morning? Could DARYL VAZ tell us what the punch-up between himself and Mr. Dixon was about? We heard DARYL VAZ. It was over money and political allegiance. He was planning to support the People's National Party for the upcoming general election. Celine Browning. Will DARYL VAZ be able to tell us what was it that himself and Mr. Dixon was fighting about? Whose driver, DARYL VAZ? Zeleta Derek, welcome. You'll find me over here, so. Whose driver? Gobby Gray, man. Whose driver got punched to the ground in the altercation between yourself and Fraughty, Mr. VAZ? It was DARYL VAZ who told us the other day, I'm going to scratch record you, DARYL VAZ. Because you're going like you know, hear say your friend get murdered, you know. You're going like you know, hear say the man where you walk and borrow from, the man where you walk and trust from, for aid your politics, DARYL VAZ. You're going like you know, here, I'm going to turn scratch record out here upon you. Till you hear say your friend, political backer, supporter, and donor was brutally murdered. We want DARYL VAZ to come out and condemn the killing of Samuel Dixon. Dawn, morning. We want DARYL VAZ to condemn, because it was Mr. VAZ was condemning killing of other Portlanders the other day. Mr. VAZ was even apportioning blame that has since certain people come boy, yeah, certain galangin start go on. Know that it's Mr. VAZ's friend. Somebody draw a zip across DARYL VAZ's mouth. Loxley, I think. Morning. Somebody draw a zip across the Minister of Government mouth. Because ever since the minister friend was brutally slain, 81 spent shell DARYL VAZ. Not a word. Madams, morning. Not a word, DARYL VAZ. 81 spent shell. Where are going to get petrol trust? Are you going to trust petrol from the man where you never even come say public condolences to? Are you going to trust petrol from his business? Or are you going to trust food package from the man's business, DARYL VAZ, and you can't simply come out here and say condolences? Telling all the while, Jamaica's biggest problem is politician, businessman, and police. Politician, businessmen, and police are the people who really institute crime, who paid for crime. And them are a problem. Annie, who sick your stomach, Annie? Who sick your stomach, Annie? Annie, who sick your stomach? Who sick Annie's stomach? I wonder if the thief in Prime Minister sick your stomach, Annie. Because boy, the way how that the man, the thief, lie, and criminality. I wonder who sick Annie's stomach. Annie, your stomach. Annie, go push your finger down your throat. Isn't that what we're told to do, Annie? Push your finger down your throat. Get it up. Get it up. Behold, get it up. Push your finger down your throat. Super D, welcome. You find me over here, so. No, sir. You've got to push your finger down your throat, Annie. If we stick your stomach, there's a cure for that. Just stuck your finger down your throat and and it's all over and done, Gene Royalty. But it doesn't mean that DARYL VAZ is not a criminal. It doesn't mean that Dr. Chang is not importing illegal guns into the country. It doesn't mean that Babsy is not the head of one order. It doesn't mean that DARYL VAZ isn't a rapist and a murderer. It really doesn't mean that. Just get your finger down your throat there. It will utterly solve all the nauseating feeling that is bothering you. Or you can just flick past this live. Pretty girl, morning. You can just flick past this live and go to one that serves milk and honey. Over here, darling, we serve bitter weed. Telling the Prime Minister to tap thief. Telling the Prime Minister to take his hands out the kitty jar and call the election so the Jamaica people can have a decision, because we were bamboozled at the 2020 general election where the Prime Minister lock we in a house and play Panwe and get and walk and buy a majority in the country. And undemocratic majority, Andrew Holness. Because Andrew Holness' majority is not democratic. Because Andrew bamboozled the nation. Andrew opened up the nation and killed more people with COVID. Because when your Prime Minister opened us up in the middle of COVID to have a general election was a death order signed on a lot of people of Jamaica. When a wicked thief in Prime Minister does that. When a Prime Minister is a wicked and a Prime Minister is a thief, you just have to accept it. It is facts. We don't walk and make up nothing for Andrew, you know. The reason why Andrew is in front of the court as Suwi are to protect him thiefness. Andrew is not in front of the court to sing Kumbaya, is it? Andrew is in front of the court trying to mash up a legislation, or because the legislation find out that Andrew Holness is a thief. What can go so? Labor rights. Labor rights! Rush morning. What can go so? Labor rights. What can go so? What can go so? Mr. Guys. One epa pasta.
Graham, just before you go, I'm wondering if Nationwide would ask the Prime Minister how is it that he can explain how other people got riches, but he's unable to explain his own riches according to the Integrity Commission. Dwayne?
When the Prime Minister is a thief, and make people make it up on him, the Prime Minister is literally a patty cat.
Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland, take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
Come on, TikTok. 150 down over here. We're near to 50,000 likes. 8,000 more likes to go, please. 8,000 more likes to go, TikTok. Keep tapping your screen. Keep tapping. And also keep giving your follow. AKA Gaza Boss Rado, morning and welcome. Claudette, thanks for the follow. Maureen, thank you. DARYL VAZ. If you're not here, but we'll come back out for the show later, we will ask you again. Because we want to hear how you, Mr. VAZ, view the murder of your friend. Because you were very perturbed, Mr. VAZ, by the recent shootings and murders in Portland. It is rather shocking, though, that when it is your friend, Mr. VAZ, this is the shocking part of it, your friend, political and business partner, not even a condolence, Mr. VAZ, not even a condemnation, DARYL VAZ, and you're expecting us to just say, oh, Mr. VAZ has not heard. Mr. VAZ is really busy in Kingston in his ministry. Mr. VAZ is really busy because it's coming up to time for a political campaign. You mean a condolences, Mr. VAZ? Too busy for a condolence? Too busy for a condemnation, DARYL VAZ, after your friend and supporter was brutally murdered? After you just had a fight with him over political allegiance and money, DARYL VAZ? Kirk Shirley, Queen Dainty, welcome. No, DARYL, we need to hear something. We, the people, needs to hear DARYL condemn. Take a morning. Terminate a morning. We need to hear DARYL VAZ condemn what took place with his friend. Trust me, DARYL VAZ. And we're going to come back at this. If you don't react, but we want to hear out of DARYL VAZ mouth. Not because you're here we play Hold Not Thy Peace, promise. Not your peace, DARYL VAZ. We're talking about our peace. We want you, Mr. VAZ, to come forth and tell us what you know about the businessman. You don't need to speak about the relationship you have with him, because we know you have a personal and a business and a political relationship with him. You also have a fist punch with him recently, Mr. VAZ. Is there anything that you would like to enlighten us about?
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the floor. Make up what I seen him. Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta and sell out, I sell out Babylon. Just stop on the Friday. You might go and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, go and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black big man.
Welcome back to At a Glance. Thank you, Rodcliffe. You find me over here as well. You know, the labor rights, them keep chasing me around. The other two platform is up and running, but you know, when we stuck on one, we're upon one. And I'm asking the labor rights them to stop provocate my platform. Gaza baby, welcome, you find me too. Because I say, through the labor right, them keep running around, reporting my platform maliciously. TikTok keeps suspending me rather. And every time TikTok suspend me because of the labor rights, it allowed me to create a brand new platform. This time, labor rights, TikTok was so generous to me. They allowed me to start going live on this platform with only 193 followers. You see how good you are doing to me, labor rights. 193 followers I start live with on TikTok. That's how you're all making me grow with your malice and your anger. Maybe if you had stopped, I would only be using one TikTok platform, but you have provided me a broader audience. Thank you for that. Now, on a Friday, on our People's Point of View, we do geopolitics. I would beg you all to come back this evening for our geopolitics sit down, because it is a time in our spheres where geopolitics is heating up. I have been warning you for quite some time of the geopolitical spat that will take place, and Jamaica will be slap bam in the middle. I think you can all see that it is heating up now. Marco Rubio came with his bully behavior. China rightly responded to him and said, "Go away, you old plunderer, you old thief," says China. "Go away, you slave master." So the geopolitical spat is heating up. And I hope you can all come back this evening so we can have a geopolitical sit down and look at where our problem started, how it is progressing, and how we must unite to take back our resources, our God names, and power. We can only do that, though, when we have the knowledge to do so, when we understand what our problems are. That's the only way we are going to start working at solving them. We will never know that God won't help us until we realize that we have to do it for ourselves, you see. I think it's a very good time for us to be interested in geopolitics and to take ourselves out of the tribal JLP and PNP politics and the Jamaica-only politics, because the world is dictating to us. We look for the world for funding and finances. So we ought to understand the global space that we are in. Otherwise, we will end up in calamity with the brouhaha between China and America without us knowing what we are involved in. Just like you see the people of Ukraine are involved in a bloodbath fought between the Americans and the Russians. But it's the people of Ukraine that generally bleeds in that war. This is how these geopolitical proxy warfare happens. America and China is not going to have a face-off directly. 6 p.m. Jamaica time. Yes, that's when we come back for the People's Point of View. China and America will not have a direct face-off. It will be a trade war, proxy war, where if blood is to be bled, it will be you, the people of Jamaica and the Caribbean blood, not the people of America or the people of China. We must understand, Tony Smith, our position in geopolitics and how we should, could, and must maneuver our way to this geopolitical tirade. Thank you all for being here this morning on the Global TV Group. You have taken me over the 50,000 likes, and this is our new TikTok platform, the Global TV Advanced Potential. We also, TikTok, most of you know, some of you might not know, we also broadcast on YouTube as well, on 3 different channels, the producer Wayne Global TV Studio 385, and GTV Studio, GTV Group rather. So we're very much all over the place. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for your likes, your follow, and your shares and your gifts. Thanks to my moderators on both platforms. Thank you, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV. Join us back this evening for our Geopolitical sit-down. Goodbye.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.